Jaely Chamberlain, and I am a soprano currently based in Washington, D.C. And I am making this video to tell you all about an idea that I've had for a very long time, actually, probably about 2 years. And it's been a project that I've picked up and put down and picked up and put down, and it's still very much in the gestational period. But I would love for Snape Maltings to be a part of it. I do sing opera, I sing oratorio, and I also love, love, love to present art song programs. I'm also originally from Australia. I moved to the United States in 2001, just before my 12th birthday, and I've been here ever since. I received my bachelor's and my master's in the United States in voice performance, and I've been performing professionally in Washington, D.C. since 2011. I had this idea a few years ago after being asked to sing as the soloist for an Anzac Day service at the Washington National Cathedral. This was an event that was hosted by the Australian Embassy in Washington, D.C. And after this event, I was asked to sing national anthems at many diplomatic events that the Australian Embassy hosted. And at one of these events, I was walking through the art gallery that they had in there, and they change it up from time to time. So they have this rotating art display. And I had the idea when I was walking through the gallery of World War II art to present a program of art songs by Australian composers. My vision for this project is to highlight poets and composers from Australia by presenting 3 programs of Australian art song. The first one I would love to be themed around the landscape and the natural habitat of Australia. So your coastline, your desert, your bushfires, the clear skies, the Southern Cross, all of the things that are really unique to the island of Australia. And the farmland, of course, the farmland, the sheep, and the wildlife. So that would be the first program. The second program that I had in mind for this project would be themed around war and peace. So Australia participated in many of the world's wars and experienced loss and grief and that pain and longing of having family away at war. And Australia as a country was greatly impacted by these wars, and there's a lot of poetry that exists out there from that time. And I would love to present a program of songs from poetry that is from that time or speaks about that time, because it was just such a large part of Australia's history. And the third program that I would like to present, I would love for it to be themed around Australia's search for modernism and the hope for the future. Australia is a relatively new country in the scheme of the world as a whole. In terms of songs for voice and piano meant to be performed in a recital setting, there is a lot and not much at the same time. I got in contact with the Australian Music Centre, where they have a database of most music that has been composed by Australian composers. And there's a slew of music, but filtering through it has been a bit of a challenge. There are songs out there that exist already that theme and center around these topics, but I've also been toying with the idea of maybe having a work commissioned in each of these programs. I've talked to a couple of composers who reside in Australia. The one I've been most in contact with is Calvin Bowman, who has written a large catalog of songs that are really, really beautiful and stunning. I would love to feature his works in there somewhere. He's also a beautiful pianist, so he could also be a potential collaborator for this project. I would love to team up with an Australian pianist to do this. Over the long term, I have the dream of producing the first existing recordings of many of these works. I would love for this project to kind of be a compilation of the best of Australian art song that also speaks to the culture. There's not that many recordings out there right now of Australian art song. There's a lot of sheet music if you go on the Australian Music Centre's website, but not many of these works have been commercially recorded. So for me as a professional, I've been presenting art song programs for a long time. I love creating programs. I love performing with the intimacy of the piano and really telling a story, but I've never undertaken anything quite like this. And I've been looking for an avenue to try to help this project come to life. This is something that I could potentially perform in Australian embassies and consulates in the United States and throughout the world, and really spread the wealth of art that is Australian music, which is just lesser known in the broader repertory of art song literature. So I hope this gives you a general idea of the project that I have in mind. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I would love to speak to you more about this project, answer any questions you might have, and maybe bounce some ideas back and forth and bring a little more specificity to the idea of this project. It's something I'm really excited about, something I'm really passionate about, and something I would really love to move forward on. And I would love for you all to be a part of it. Thank you. Bye.